내가 이제 김영도인데 광산김 씨의 호적에 보면 내가 시조가 돼 있더라고, 시조. 나부터 이제 대를 이어나가는 거야. 내 윗대는 없는 거야. 우리는 어디 김씨요 그러면 뭐 광산 김씨가 있고 김해 김씨가 있고 다 그렇지.
Not your typical sports biopic. I think culturally this was incredibly significant, and it goes into a lot of different things about immigration and being mixed race and being mixed race in the 80s and growing up with that and using sports almost as a unifier. I think this is a really compelling piece. I think it's incredibly informative. And I think the different mediums that you use, just, flashing back with different photography and videos, it's really, really good. And it makes the piece more dynamic, and it makes it visually stimulating, and it rounds it out. It's a very, very well done story. A very well done biopic, and it goes into so much more.
They give us this beautiful story of healing and catharsis, very relevant conversation on race, discrimination, generational trauma, fear, and finally finding harmony through understanding, tolerance, and gratefulness. Deep dive into South Korea's relationship with race, the impacts and repercussions on specifically these mixed race individuals. The protagonist, even as an old man, you can see the pain of the comments, the stories that are being told about him, the assumptions everyone made about his looks and his past when he was younger. Even the stories he told himself about his mom. You can see the pain. You can see him putting it all together, making peace with it. It's just a beautiful piece honoring him as a life-changing baseball coach for a lot of the students, and it was just a very impactful, and I'm glad he had the strength to come back.
This gentleman is also the first mixed race PE teacher and baseball coach and manager in Korea. And so we see this journey of this triumph as he leaves South Korea to better his children's lives and moves to America and becomes a first-generation American. And we also get to see that he hasn't been back in 35 years. Therefore, we really see this experience of basically coming back home to a whole new world after you've lived a whole new life in order to get away from certain things. And so we get to see this journey of reconnection and identifying where we come from and how we build and adapt and change through life's certain circumstances. And we get to see his passions come about and love and see who he cares about and the lengths he's willing to go to sort of bring a good conversation of discussion. When we think of baseball and triumphs in history, we think of, Jackie Robinson. I think of movies like A League of Their Own. And I also, believe that we should continue sharing these diverse stories as they are few and far in between, and we all can find someone that we can relate to and look up to and aspire to be. And I think this is a good representation to have that sort of opportunity here.
There's so much in this story, in his story, to really latch onto it. I'm sure it was no easy task to sort of narrow it down as they've done and take us and given us this sort of slice of what it's like, in his life. I just thought so much of it was so fascinating. Even near the beginning with the visit to his mother's tomb, I thought that was really something special that I was absolutely not aware of. So just delighted to have learned that and got to see it and experience it this way through such a just remarkable and lovely individual. The throwing the soju and the sharing the cigarette. I thought it was really just sweet and charming.
It's an incredibly cool story, and it's really well told. I love the visual approach, the way we get shots of the city and the landscape from the drone perspective, and we also get to follow along as he returns and kind of walks us through his past. I think it's a really neat documentary that anyone would enjoy.
My first impression of him was he seemed like a very happy man. And despite everything he's gone through in his life, he is a happy man, and especially since baseball was his solace. The fact that his background alone was intriguing, being part American, part Korean. He was just a friendly guy that everybody likes. Something was that where I really thought this was just going to be a baseball documentary, but really it was interesting following this man around. It was one that baseball was part of his life, and a big part for a while, but it wasn't the only part of his life. This film was a lot better looking at the people who he knew, the way he grew up, learning about his background, his friends, his life. And while baseball was a part of that, the man as a whole, you could see why they made this film, because he's such an intriguing man.
I loved learning all about the life of a man born in Korea who moved with his family to the US in 1987 for a better life for his kids. Lots of fascinating black and white footage of his past. He was obviously very influential in Korea, notably his teaching and baseball coaching skills. I was also very moved as he spoke of his parents and the challenges he had being of mixed race, African Korean. I like the scenes with all his baseball friends in Korea and the gorgeous drone shots. The gentle soundtrack of strings and guitar was beautiful and added to the deep emotions in the film.